What's up, everybody? This is Octavian. So this video is the 3 things that you should do before you apply to college, whether it be undergraduate, graduate, or graduate school. Before we get into it, please like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Love to see your feedback. Yeah, so with that out of the way, let's get into it. Number one, first thing that you should do before you apply to college is consider, is college for you? Now, there is a lot of societal pressure from family, friends, media, everywhere. People saying you need to go to college. That's not necessarily true for everybody. A lot of successful people haven't been to college, and a lot of successful people didn't need to go to college. Now, it just aligns with what you want to do. Now, if you have a set track as far as like what you want to do, that you would need a degree, a certain degree for to be able to like do whatever you want to do, then yes, college may be the way for you. Like if you want to go into like a STEM field or something like that, then yeah, you're likely, or you want to be a doctor or a lawyer. Yes, college is likely the best route for you. But if you're just going to college and you don't really have a set plan yet, or you don't really have an idea for what you actually want to do, it's best not to necessarily spend all that money like on something that you're not even sure if will pay off, or if you think that if you even like know if that's what you want. It's best to like a lot of people, when I graduated, take a gap year to clear their head, trying to figure out what they want to do in life, do some traveling, whatever. And it opened up their opportunity, and the college system is still going to be there. It's still not it's not going to change. You're still going to be able to get what you want to get done. It's just up to you on when you feel ready to do so, if you ever feel ready to do so. Secondly, for when thinking about before you apply to college, is look at all the other options. College is, again, like I said in the first point, not necessarily for everybody, but that's also to say that if you do want to go to college, and that is your premise, look at all the available options that you have. You can choose to go to a trade school. Trade schools offer various different programs that and trades that can help you achieve the goals that you want to achieve without actually having to pay incredibly high fees and tuition and room and board and all that at a big college. You can also look at community colleges. Community colleges offer a lot of the same coursework that bigger universities and Ivy League schools offer, but they offer them with cheaper rates. Usually they're in your own community, so you don't really have to pay for room and board either, because they don't provide room and board, so you get to stay at home for typically a cheaper rate, or for free. So like that is also a viable option, because and if you don't like the community college, or if you get your associate's degree at the community college and you would like to transfer to a bigger university, you're more than welcome to do that. That's a great opportunity. A lot of people that I graduated high school with have done that route and have been succeeding. So it's definitely a viable option, and it's a great way to save money if you don't have it yet. And it's a great way to kind of just organize your thoughts and give you time to see if this is really what you want to do, and not waste a huge amount of money on university. Third is the big universities. I go to Ohio State, which is the third largest public university in the country, and it's not for everyone. Some people say that the big university feel is like it's too big. They don't really feel at home. They they don't really feel a community sense, which can be provided maybe at community college or at just generally a smaller school. So that's a unique experience that Ohio State has. But for other like large public universities, they're very expensive, um, and yeah, like I said, they're not for everybody. So you really have to take into account what is best for you, what you think you will help you learn the best, what resources the school can provide for you, what outlets and connections the school can provide for you, also how much it's going to cost you, and how it can negatively impact your pockets. That's another heavy consideration that you have to take into account before you apply to that school. Because a lot of schools, they apply, or they have these acceptance, or not acceptance fees. Those are super expensive, overcharging you just to accept something that you already got accepted into. Like, and that's just the gateway, because the tuitions are so much more. So like you really got to consider and look at that from all scopes of of what you want to do for your college experience and what route you want to take. You also can look at the route of out of country colleges, like world universities, like in Europe or Canada, things of that nature. Those schools are also very interesting, because their rates are typically cheaper because they're paid. They're kind of paid in a system of where it's more like communal, and it's kind of like encompassed in people's taxes. So it's not really like the rates. Of course, they have private institutions and institutions with like high rates of schooling, but taking those into account, going to another university outside of the country, the cost is usually not as bad as the typical American big university cost either. Another option is Ivy Leagues. Ivy Leagues are prestigious colleges that they have great resources, and they can provide you great connections. And they usually put you in a lot of debt if you don't have the connections or the funds to make it there. It's definitely up to your experience. If you really want to go to Harvard or Yale or Princeton, then definitely do you. But I hope that you would look at it and say, hey, is this really the best decision for me? You also have to look at the community of people that if you choose to apply, you have to look at the demographic that go there, and like whether you will feel comfortable at that school as well. So that's another thing you just have to take into account. But with all these options of like schooling following high school, or following high school, you have the same end goal and same premise of like getting a job or starting your career, and basically building on that, and succeeding and doing what you want. So like all of these routes can provide it. It's just up to you on whichever you feel is the best for you and your circumstances. Because it's not just like one for all. It varies, and what's best for each individual. The third and final thing that you should do before college or applying to colleges is research that college. I mentioned it beforehand, but you really have to go into depth about the college or university that you're researching for graduate and undergraduate. You have to look at the location of the college. That's something I'm in the process of learning right now. What location am I comfortable living in for the next few years? For graduate school, you have to look at the demographic, like I mentioned before, the people that are going to be going there, the resources that they provide for whatever your major is, their ranking in that sense, like how do they have the materials that you need in order to be able to succeed? Do they have the professors, like the faculty that they have there? Do they have the professors that are some of the best or are qualified to teach you what you are needing to know, or what you want to know? Also taking into account the 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 cost. Definitely, cost is a big thing for graduate school. For specifically the chemistry fields, typically you don't usually doesn't cost, but for undergraduate, yes, it does cost. So definitely you have to take that into account and figure out how much you're willing to pay, whether you want to do loans, scholarships, what is your financial situation that is that can be applied to the circumstance that you're in, and like how you want to basically go about that. And that's definitely something you have to take into account when right before you applying to the college. Do research on the history of the college. In general, I'm not talking about like knowing when the college was founded and everything. You don't have to do all that. I'm saying the history of college as far as things that just happen on the campus, whether it be violence, whether it be protest, whether it be anything like that like you may want to learn about, because it may socially, like, it may have an impact on you. It may make you feel alone or not comfortable. So like you definitely want to know what you're getting yourself into for the next few years as well, and understand, hey, this is something that I may not necessarily want to be around with this kind of like history behind it. So yeah, like definitely just do your research on the college. Try to figure out as much information as you can before applying there, to make sure it's something that you really want to do. Because like I mentioned before, the acceptance fee, and like it can if you apply to a lot of different colleges, those fees can stack up. So yeah, those are the 3 things that you should do before you apply to college. I hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, I'll catch y'all.